All right, hello and welcome to episode 55 of the Too Hard, Too Fast podcast. I'm your co-host, Juan Martinez. And to my left or to my right is Jacques Slade.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Glad to have you all back here with us today. Per usual, we've got a good episode coming for you guys. Got a bunch of different things to talk about today because there's a bunch of different things happening in sneakers, and it's interesting because it's like some are like directly related to sneakers, some are directly related to sport, and some are kind of combining all those things. So it's an interesting show coming for you guys today.
All right, cool. So let's start with the typical ramble. Jacques, you had yourself an eventful weekend, man. You were out in Detroit. Was it Detroit?
Detroit. Yeah. So I went to Detroit for the Black Footwear Forum. It's put on by Dwayne Edwards, who runs Pinsole Academy. Well, I guess it's technically not Pinsole Academy. It's the Pinsole Lewis College. It's a college that he basically bought in Detroit, and he runs that focuses on footwear design and apparel design, manufacturing, the whole process of making shoes and apparel. And he had a big giant like forum, 2-day forum where people from all over came to learn about the process, hear from executive, hear from designers, just like hear about literally everybody in the space. And it was really cool. I got to host the event, so I was there. I was the host for the 2 days, and I got to just hear a lot of great talks. Like I didn't moderate any of the talks. I just kind of got to sit back and listen, and it was fantastic. Everyone from like April Walker, who's like one of the first women to create a streetwear brand, to Roxanne Shante, to James Whitner, J Tips, Joe Freshgoods, a couple of VPs from Nike, some VPs from Adidas, some business people from the Detroit Pistons. It was really dope. Just like a bunch of like creative and business people all coming together and really just giving away just like free game to the audience. It was pretty cool. It was a really cool event.
All right, nice. I guess the question I want to ask about that is that there's a lot of talk about, the business of sneakers being down. There's not enough like creativity going on. Like just everybody's just kind of like people think it's like a down, cycle right now for the sneaker world. Coming out of that event, being able to, host it and being able to, like you said, pick up free game there. Do you have a similar outlook, or do you feel like a little bit more optimistic about the future after attending that? Or I mean, what was your general outlook before and then after?
I know Dwayne does great work, so it's always like, it's never like, I'm always like expecting something amazing to happen. And I feel like it was the same thing. It's just really like reinvigorating people that are in the industry, are looking to get into the industry, and letting them know like that their voices can be heard, and letting them know that their creativity is there, and really helping them navigate those spaces in ways that will make sure that their voices are heard. So, I mean, I came away from it like excited because it's like I don't know exactly how many people were there. It was a few hundred at least, that now have a better understanding of the industry, how to approach it, and how to grow their businesses and how to grow their careers. So that's exciting.
Well, that's good to hear. Because like I said, man, like when you're on social media, when you're just a terminally online freak like we are, we tend to be, you just hear like the negative. You hear, the stuff that is not so great. But to, have a forum like that, an outlet for creatives and for business people to kind of like come together and like, make good stuff, and also just develop new ideas. It's a great outlet for those types.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I mean, people from Converse, everyone, anyone that like in the industry that has some sort of impact on the industry was there. So it was cool.
Okay. Now that being said, do you have any hot gossip for us? Like anything like
I do not. Nothing that I can share. I'll say that. Nothing that I can share. But it was really cool. Really cool. Got to talk to some
Yeah.
designers from Jordan, some designers from Nike, some designers from Converse, some designers from Adidas. Yeah, it was a good place to be. I recommend if you haven't been that you go next year.
Who, me? Like, what you
Everyone,
talking about me?
you
As?
and
Okay.
everyone, you and everyone. Yeah,
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, that would definitely be like a fun thing to check out. But yeah, no, I thought it would just be the responsible podcasting thing to do is be like, Jacques, you got any hot goss for us? Anything you want to like, leak to the public or
that
whatever?
is the responsible podcasting to do. So what were you doing? What kind of hot gossip you got for us?
Oh, it's stuff that I can't share either because no, I'm just kidding. So I well, not ran, but I linked up with I guess we could say old friend of ours, Tina the Body, aka Shoe Queendom, who I gotta admit, I
Yeah,
have not seen in a very long time. She is an OG of the sneaker blog game. Like, I
one
remember
hundred
back in the
percent.
days, yeah, like, LA sneaker blogs, like LA sneaker people was basically like me, you, and Tina. Like, that's how it felt
Yeah,
like for a very
basically,
long
yeah.
time.
At that time, yeah,
Yeah. So, how I ran into her is an interesting actually story because a week prior, I was at the wedding of friend of the program and actually co-host replacement for Jacques Slade for one episode, Mark Hanato, aka Air Magnos. So I was at his
yeah.
wedding and I was there with like, fellow sneaker people, Shoe Hefner, the famous, world famous, see him on the streets, you
World
just holler at
famous.
him. I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
just the
Mm-hmm.
world recognized Shoe Hefner 5 and Drew Ruiz was also there. Just a bunch of other like sneaker luminaries were in attendance, so it was definitely like a fun thing to be at. Just it was just cool to see a lot of people who I had not seen for many years. I mean, part of it was just being out of the game. Part of it was the pandemic, so it was just
Yeah.
fun to see a lot of people there for the first time in a long time. And, as it is when you see these guys and gals, like you end up talking about the old days because, we're at that age
Yeah.
where we're like, hey, remember that time? Or, yeah, remember that time? Just bring up old shit.
I
And,
think that's just what friends do. That's just what friends do. It's not that
yeah,
I don't think that has anything to do with age. I think that's just like that's what friends do when they get together.
true. That's fair. That's fair. But, because we are like, a little bit older. So that is the kind of like the topics that do tend to come up is like, hey, remember that time? Like we did this thing and, we were at this thing and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, totally, totally. But then I think it was I'm pretty sure it was Hef who brought up Tina. And I was like, oh, that's right. I have not seen or heard from Tina in a while. And so as soon as like I stopped talking to Hef, I reached out. I DM'd Tina like, hey, it's been a minute. How are you?
Yeah,
Hope you're doing
yeah.
well and all that stuff. And she's like, oh, hi, how's it going? And then like, we met up at Westwood. And it turns out she had been in
Oh, nice.
Paris for a couple years, which
Oh,
was kind of
wow.
like, wait a minute, you were in Paris? We could have like linked
Right.
up in Paris when I was there in Europe for a couple of months ago. So, well, it is what it is. But yes, it was just good to see Tina. It had just been a minute, and just reminisce about the old times and just yeah, just see how she's doing and all that good stuff. And yeah, maybe hopefully we'll have her on in the show at some point. Maybe do like a
Yeah, that'd be
triple threat.
dope.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely do that as a podcast. But yeah, for people who are not familiar, Tina Body was a shoe queendom. She was the one who like wanted to integrate the world of like sneakers and heels into one like, place. And
Yeah.
we were always like at all of these Nike events, especially Nike events here in the LA area during that time, like the early 2010s. And she was just as much of fixture of the LA sneaker scene as me or you. And actually, it was just me, you, and and her for
Yeah,
a
I mean she was
while.
pretty yeah, she's pretty instrumental. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so it's good to catch up. It's just good to catch up with an old friend. And yeah, no, hopefully, we'll have her on the pod at some point, and we'll do what we do and just talk about old shit if it ever comes to it. So
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I'd love to get her on. That'd be dope.
absolutely, absolutely. All right, so moving on with the podcast, Jacques. So let's talk about a big release that took place last week. It was the Reebok Angel Reese 1, or Angel Reese's
Yeah.
debut sneaker that Reebok lied to us. Didn't they say something like, oh, it's coming in 2026? It's going to be a while. You ain't got
Yeah.
to. And then they're like, surprise, suckers. NBA
Yeah,
2K26, here's the cover.
basically.
It's
Yeah, I
like,
did not
what the heck you
expect
done?
it. I did not
They
expect
did the
it this
okey
soon at
doke.
all.
They just
Yeah.
okey doked us, man. It was like, oh, you're like, when you heard Angel Reese was gonna be on the cover, we're like, okay, sure, I'm sure there's gonna be like the what is it, the engine A, or like maybe a special colorway of the question or whatever was gonna be on her
Yeah.
feet. Nope, it's her signature shoe, and then surprise, we're also dropping it pretty soon afterwards. You're like, what? Like, way to
Yeah.
what to do to fake out, guys. Like, I respect it. I respect it. Like, you had us, you had us, you had us. So
I love
I
it because it gets
respected
to
that.
like it prevents all like the leaks and all of that stuff that
Hmm.
most brands usually have to deal with. Like that was a big
Absolutely.
thing at the footwear forum. A lot of the designers were like, "I blankety blank hate leaks. Like it ruins everything. It ruins the story. It ruins the customer surprise." Like I get it. So Reebok, kudos to Reebok for being able to put it all together and get it out so quickly and
Hmm.
get them in the hands of consumers who are looking to get their hands on a pair of her shoes.
Right. And it seems like the sneaker performed well. It's not
Yep.
available anymore on the website. However, there is a little bit of a, I would say mild. It's not like a big deal that people talked about, other than like, your culture war idiots who like say like, oh, the shoe, they're only showed like 200 pairs and all that stuff. None of it is true anyway. They can go suck some eggs and all that stuff. Like those people are just whatever, not worth talking about. Now, the thing that I did want to talk about though was this little minor controversy that the Reebok may have like messed up a little bit. Now, it turns out there was also like at the same time that the shoe came out, there was also like a sale, I believe, or like a promo code that was going on, and that you could
Mm-hmm.
get 15% off any product, including apparently the Reebok
Mm.
Angel Reese one. So you could also get 15% off the shoes. Now, there was some intimation by some outlets that that was a sign of lack of confidence in the Angel Reese one.
Of course.
Now, I could see that angle. I could see if you want to file that under enragement bait, you can use that to kind of fuel like, the haters of the Angel, the Angel Reese haters who want to be like, oh, see, that's another reason why she is not, she's not as good as Caitlin Clark, is because her shoes need to go on sale for people to buy it. And it's like, shut up.
Oh
Shut
my
up.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please shut up.
Now, yeah, please shut up. Exactly. The shoes are doing well. Shut up. Now, for me, I think that was a mistake on Reebok's part, not because that they had a promo code, but because they didn't promote it in that way. Because I think, and I think we've talked about it beforehand, maybe they should have like introduced like an early bird pricing promotion. Like, hey, we have this new shoe. It's kind of like the surprise, right? Surprise, people. The Angel
Mm-hmm.
Reese one shoe is here now. Surprise. You can get in on the ground floor of the sneaker at a special introductory price of 15% off. And then eventually the price will go back up once like, more colorways come in the future. It's more of a like way to get people into the door. It's kind of like that. Hey, the first hit's free. The first hit's free. And then after that, you
The
got to pay.
first hit's free. Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know
Wow.
what I mean when I say that. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Not
yeah,
that I've ever done
yeah.
that. But
No, I honestly, actually, I agree with you. I think it's being overblown, and people are
Mhm.
looking for a way to minimize Angel Reese and what she's done for the league and how she's affecting the world of sneakers and basketball. So of course they are. I'm thinking what probably happened is Reebok had the sale, and whoever loaded the Reese one didn't tick whatever box it is that prevents you from getting the 15% on her shoes. And then once someone got the discount, they were just like, oh, well, whatever, we'll just let it go. So I wouldn't look too much into it. I know the community obviously will, because, they need something to talk about, but
Mhm.
I just, I don't add any weight to it. Or the other side is they left it as like an Easter egg for those that tried it. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, what we'll do is we won't talk about it But if somebody tries it, they can get it. We won't say anything. We won't advertise it. We won't say they're 15% off. This is something that they can get. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as one, a marketing thing. It's getting more people are talking about it now, obviously, because it's not a
Mhm.
conversation that most people wouldn't be talking this much about Angel Reese's shoe, but we are because of this. So I think in their book, I think that's a win. The more we talk about Reebok, the more we talk about her, the more we talk about the shoe, the more it's embedded into our consciousness, and it becomes something that we associate with basketball, and we associate with sneakers, and we associate with sport. So I'm all for it. Kudos to the team at Reebok. Kudos to Big Shaq and AI. You guys are crushing it. Like, this is a great
Mhm.
opportunity to continue to build with her.
Yeah. And I think we need to drop the stigma of like shaming whatever into like, oh, because the shoe came in at a cheaper price, it's less than. Like, could you imagine if like Nike with their pre-order stuff, right? They're gonna roll out this big pre-order deal and they drop like whatever the next Kobe, and it's like, if you pre-order it, it's gonna be 10% off or whatever percent off. Are people
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
mad
yeah.
about that? Are people gonna like find a way to trash Nike for that? No, they're gonna be like, oh, this is a great idea by Nike, this is genius, this is brilliant. But because it's Angel
Absolutely.
Reese, but because it's, well, actually, I'm not even gonna say because it's Reebok, because if it was another athlete, I don't think anybody would really say, but because it's Angel Reese, people have something to say. People just want to
Yeah.
like look for the negative angle of it instead of looking at it as like a positive marketing, whatever marketing spin they might, or whatever Reebok wants to like, spin it as. Like, I think this is actually like a good thing. I think this, if whether it was intentional or not, I think this actually ends up being a good thing. And like, it gets, like I said, it gets people in the door, gets people interested in like,
Yep.
eventually when future colorways or whatever the Angel Reese 2 drops is going to get them like hooked on the product, which again, I'm not alluding to anything else when I say hooked on a particular product. Yeah, no, I'm not. That's not
Like,
what I'm
in
getting at.
my mind, when the more people that have her shoes, the better. The more people that are
Mhm.
seen outside with her shoes on, the better. And I think that's what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, keeping it on the WNBA side of things, Jacques, we've got a four-time MVP, Asia Wilson. And the MVP was presented by her boyfriend, Pam Adebayo, in a hilarious video. I was like,
Very
ah,
nice.
that's so that was very cool.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh dang, look at that. And like she seemed like genuinely shocked. Did she not know that she won the MVP at that point? Or was it like she did not know she was gonna get the trophy from Bam and like all of that? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I imagine it's a mix of things. Like, you don't want to assume you got the MVP. So I imagine it was a little bit of, oh, okay, I did win, like feeling good about that. But also the fact that Bam presented it. Like, it's one thing to have the commissioner come in, but then to have Bam come in, that kind of pushes things up a notch.
of course, everybody made the joke of like, oh my goodness, that if say like things work out, they are gonna have like the greatest athlete child of all time.
Ah, I
It's like,
mean,
I
it's
mean,
true. It's
yeah, I mean,
true.
like,
There.
good lord, yeah, I mean, like one of the greatest WNBA players of all time, a freaking NBA All Star, Olympic gold medalist type level player. Like, good
Crazy.
grief. That's gonna be whatever sport that kid potentially could join into is gonna be like, yo.
And watch the kid be like, nah, I want to be an art major.
That'll be like the tallest art major of all time. But anyway.
Right. Yeah. That part.
But anyways, I, perfect timing, I guess. Like, for Nike, I think they also just dropped a T-shirt, celebrating the MVP, kind of like how they celebrated with Paige Beckers winning the Rookie of the Year with a T-shirt. But I have to imagine a
Uh,
sneaker's on the way, like an A1 MVP, whether it's like soon or like down the line, has to be happening at some point. Just yeah, I have to assume that as one of those things that they plan ahead of time. Kind of like, with the LeBron
yeah.
MVPs, right? They have like something like that locked and loaded, ready to go just in case like an award does happen. But yeah, no, just another notch on Nike. Like they've got another MVP athlete. It's just another one of those, like, just man, they just racking up the wins. And Caitlin Clark's gonna have a lot to like. People talk about like the Caitlin Clark, like the impact and all that stuff, but like how's she gonna like? She's got a huge hill to climb to surpass what Asia has already achieved. Signature shoe,
Yeah.
four-time MVP, multiple-time champion. That's the standard. And regardless of how the people, the fans, the stands like to hype her up, she's got a huge hill to climb just to get to that point. Now, as we're saying this, the WNBA playoffs are going on, and the Aces are down 1-0, are down 0-1 to the I forget what team was it, the Fever? I think it's the Indiana Fever, but like all teams too. Like
Hmm.
like Caitlin Clark's team that she's not even playing, which we know has a lot of huge Ewing theory potential. I don't know if you know about the Ewing theory, where
I don't know about the Ewing theory.
okay, so the Ewing theory is a sports theory that was created by one Bill Simmons, like way back in like the late '90s, early 2000s, where a hyped, celebrated athlete gets injured, but the team goes on a roll and is actually maybe better without the star athlete. Made famous by Patrick Ewing during like one of those playoffs where he was injured, and then the Knicks made it all the way to
Wow.
the finals. So yeah, that
I
could
think,
be like a
well,
funny Ewing theory potential with Caitlin.
I
But
that could also be one, but honestly, I think it's Kelsey Mitchell.
yes,
Like
that's the other thing too.
Kelsey Mitchell is the truth. Like she is the best person on the Indiana Fever, not Caitlin Clark. Like it's Kelsey
Mm,
Mitchell. Like she's an
mm,
MVP candidate. She's balling, and the only reason, like more people should be talking about her, but obviously they're talking about Caitlin because of. But Kelsey Mitchell is the one that is bringing that team to the playoffs, like hands down. Whether Caitlin's there or not, she's still bringing that team to where they are today. So that I say all that to say, like, I wish Caitlin the best and I hope she gets better, but
yeah.
Kelsey Mitchell is the truth.
Also, shout out to Leah Boston. Like she's been doing well, like guarding Asia
Yep.
Wilson. Like they did a pretty good job, like shutting her. Well, shutting down Asia Wilson is pretty rough, but like they did a pretty good job in game one. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to continue. I mean, the Aces are pretty much like the favorite team in that series. Maybe they'll still
Yeah.
pull it out. Like it is a best of five, so we could, they could like do like the sweep afterwards. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, it's just cool to see, like, that Asia is just like racking up all of these accolades. And, she's got, the perfect timing with like Nike and everything with the signature shoe and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very, very cool, accomplishment on her behalf. So yeah, no, well deserved. And yeah, we'll probably see what happens in the future with regards to that. Like I am eagerly anticipating what a four-time MVP sneaker looks like. Cool. All right, moving on. So there's this very cool ad that I saw on the socials today. It's a collaboration between Vans and Atiba Jefferson, and
Yeah.
it's for people who do not know, Atiba Jefferson's a pretty well known photographer in like
Yeah.
sports world, entertainment world, pretty much anything you could think of, he's covered it. And as part of this collaboration with Vans, which is like United Through Skate, I believe it's called. It's like very much like a bringing the world together through skateboarding and all that stuff. Atiba did the thing and just brought everybody that I guess he knew on his, probably like on his phone. It's like, hey, come on over, guys. Let's do this thing at the skate park. Or was it like in the school? It's
Yeah.
funny when I saw that spot, I was like, wait a minute, is that my high school? Like for a second there, I was looking at like I was looking at like the tables and
Yeah.
stuff and like the background. I was like, wait a minute, that looks like, but no, it wasn't. It turned out it wasn't. But like I thought for a second, I was like, wait a minute, is that my school? That's crazy.
I mean,
But
that's
anyways,
basically how every junior high school in LA looks. So it's pretty spot on.
that's true. That's true. But yeah, no, just the people that were on there. Tim Robinson, who I didn't even know was a skater, pretty well known comedian at this point. Like, what is that one? The one where he's just dressed up as a hot dog, and we're all trying to see the person who did this. That's one of his famous bits.
Yeah.
He was also the one who did the basketball, the NBA on NBC, like parody on SNL, Baron Davis, just a lot of like different people from like sports, entertainment, and skating. And just to see
Yeah.
like that kind of spot is just so refreshing, I guess. Like,
Yep.
because when we were so familiar with like the Nike commercials, the world, even Adidas commercials, New Balance and all that stuff. And just to see just a chill spot like that is just so I don't know. Like I just was really impressed by just how chill it was and how relaxed it was. It wasn't really even like advertising a particular sneaker. It was just more like a campaign of Vans to be like, hey, skating. It's cool, guys. You know?
Hey, skate. No, it
I'm
was
doing a
cool. It's a
really
good way to
bad
kind
job of
of
hyping up Vans, but yes.
no, no, it was a cool way of kind of tying everything together from like the sneaker space and then the creative space. It's like I love it as a creative. I look at it through the lens of Atiba and what he's done and the people that he's had in front of his lens. And, you know, Vans recognizing that is pretty cool in my opinion. Yes, he's kind of like, yes, he's like rooted in skate, which makes sense for the Vans brand, but it's also just like highlighting a creative in the community. So that part I absolutely love.
I mean, it's kind of like the forum that you went to. It's like just a gathering of different people from all different, walks of life and just being able to like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just looking at the list. So I just pulled it up here. The list is like, well, Atiba Jefferson, Zion Wright, Blake Anderson, Adam Devine, CJ Uzma, Dares, Tim Robinson, Curran Capel, Sam Richardson was an actor, I think. I think he was on Ted Lasso. Baron
Yeah.
Davis, Brands, Lizzie Armanto, and Shiloh Katori. So half of those people I don't know, but I'm going to assume they're cool people just because of the spot. Just like looking at the vibes and everything, it's just a bunch of cool
Yeah.
people, and you're like, oh, I want to be part of that. It's like just one of those things when you look at, you're like, you feel like the FOMO of like, oh, that looks just like cool people hanging out and just doing
Yeah.
cool shit, and it's like you just want to be a part of that. You just want to be a part of that, and it just so happens that it's skating the thing that brought them together. Even Baron Davis. Well, I don't think Baron Davis actually skated in the spot, but I was just like waiting for that. I was like,
No.
wait.
Yeah, yeah. Baron did not get on a skateboard, but Atiba shot his cover photo for I forgot which magazine. So
I think it was
again, it's all
Slam. I
like
think it was
tapping
Slam
into that.
magazine. Yeah.
Yeah, tapping into that creative world. I love it. It's cool. It's dope, man.
Yeah, I love that spot. All right, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about though, Jacques, was speaking of commercials, and we just talked about like how the Vans commercial was a little bit chill on the chill side. The Anthony Edwards 2 commercial is back on its like, hey man, people are doubting me kind of vibe and everything. So yes, the first Anthony Edwards 2 commercial is out, and it's narrated by Joe Budden of all people. It's like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, kinda. He's in and out.
Kinda,
He
yeah,
says a
he's in and
couple.
out, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But he's bringing Anthony Edwards is bringing back his buddy Nick, and
as he
they
should.
are once, yeah, it seemed it worked the first time. Why not? Why not bring him back for the sequel, right? Why not bring him back for the follow up? So, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about like for me, when I looked at that commercial, it carried a lot of the same energy as the first campaign, and I don't. Okay, how do I word this in a way that doesn't mean like I'm trying to like bring it down, like the energy down a little, but I just feel like it's more of the same, and it wasn't like it's not like, when there's a new Air Jordan that comes out, like, back in the days, like the Air Jordan 11 commercials was different from the Air Jordan 12 commercials, the Air Jordan 10 commercials,
Hmm.
and all that. Like, it seems like they're trying something different, even with Kobe's, right? Like the Kobe 4, they had like ankle insurance, and then the Kobe 5 went to something different. Kobe 6 did something
Yeah.
different. Then eventually we got the Kobe system and all that stuff. So it felt like with every new model, you tried something different. This one is still very much in the people are doubting Anthony Edwards. They don't believe in him. Like it's very much like people are like talking down on Anthony Edwards, like trying to find
Hmm.
angles to bring him down. And it's once again and being like, screw you guys, I'm gonna do me, you know? And that's the energy that I got, which is a similar energy that I got from the first set of commercials. It wasn't every commercial was like that, but a majority of it was kind of like that. Or he was kind of like announcing himself too at the same time. So that's why when I see these commercials, I'm like, oh, this new commercial, I'm like, oh, maybe this is just the first one, and then we go into a totally different direction later on. But for right
Hmm.
now, I'm just looking at it, and it's like, it's this just feels a little bit more of the same at the moment.
Yeah, it does feel similar in ways to the stuff that he was doing for the AE1.
Hmm.
But I think the theme of it all is where the difference really lies. I think for the one, he was a lot more cocky
Hmm.
or arrogant or confident or whatever it is you wanna say. And
Hmm.
this one feels like instead of being like the aggressor, he's being like the victim in a sense almost. Like this is going to be like
Hmm.
his comeback kind of moment. It's like
Hmm.
everybody's kind of harping on him, like even like the Joe Budden and all the other things that are being said in that commercial. It's more of like what he can do and what he's not able to do. Where I feel like last year was like, oh, I can, I will, I do, I am, I believe. This time it's like, oh, okay, everybody doubts me. Now I've got to prove myself, back up all the things that I said last year. And so that's kind of what this arc, I would say, feels like versus the last arc where it was more, I'm the man, I'm doing this crazy stuff, get these other shoes out of here. My shoe is the best. I'm the best. Why would I stop? I can't be stopped. Like, and this is more like, okay, I hear y'all talking. Now I got to really prove it. At least that's what I'm picking up.
Okay. Yeah, no, totally, totally. I hear that. I hear that. Now, let's talk about the shoe itself, though. Now that we've had official pictures, Ant's worn them a couple of times. He wore them in his China trip. How are we feeling right now about the Anthony Edwards 2?
I think it looks okay. I think it looks okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like blown away by it, but I
Mm-hmm.
also wasn't blown away by the AE one either. So I
Mm-hmm.
think I think it looks good. It's a good evolution from the AE one to the AE two. I'm not opposed to it at all. Like I don't think it's terrible, but I also don't think it's like the best thing I've ever seen.
Right. Um, for me personally, like when I first saw the AE one, well, I like you was not blown away by it, but then there was one particular colorway that kind of like piqued my interest. It was I think it was like the called with Adi Love or something like the best of Adi or something, a best Adidas, and it looked like it was like a black and white colorway, and it reminded me of like the Kobe one in like that Stormtrooper black and white colorway. And for me, and I don't think this is like anybody thinks this, but when I look at the AE1, it kind of reminds me of like the second coming of like the Kobe 1 in a good way. Not in a the Kobe
Yeah.
2 looks like a flaming hot piece of garbage kind of way, and more like this is what the Kobe 2 could have probably should have looked like. That kind of deal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so when I look at it like that way, and then from there, I had this like look and feel of like, oh, the AE ones are maybe like one of the best shoes, basketball shoes Adidas has done in a very long time. And it panned out. Like, it became a hit. It was a success. It was selling
Hmm.
pretty good. And it was so good that Adidas held off on the AE2 for basically a year, which, we
Yeah.
talked about
Rightly
this on the
so.
show before. Yeah, we talked about it on the show before that. And I think you were the one who argued for it is like, why shouldn't it be? If a shoe is doing well, if a shoe is selling well, there's no
Why
reason to
rush it?
rush into, yeah, there's no reason to rush into the second or the third or whatever, just the next shoe. If something is performing, the community is really resonating with it, it's selling well, there's no reason to bring the follow up, you know?
Yep.
And so now that we are here with the follow-up, I'm looking at it and I'm wondering what the perception is gonna be. Because for me personally, I like it. I definitely like it better than the what was it, the first reported leak of the shoe, which looked more like a Spider-Man webbed, kind of deal where it
Yeah.
felt like it was like covered in like webs. It felt like I was like, yo, I get what they were going for. I get like what the angle was, like the evolution from the AE1 to the AE2 with that web Spider-Man looking thing. But I also
Yeah.
don't think that was going to be something that was going to be successful for them. I think it was like too far in that particular direction that maybe people were not going to vibe with that. This one I think has a better shot. But at the same time, I look at it and it's like maybe I just need to see more colorways. Maybe like kind of like similar with the best of Adi. Like when I saw that particular color, that's when it kind of like that's when it clicked for me for the
That's when it clicked
AE1.
for you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe I just need to see another colorway of the AE2. And I haven't seen one so far that's gonna click for me in the same way that that particular colorway of the AE1
Hmm.
clicked.
I mean, maybe I'm the same
So
way because, like I said, I think it looks cool. I'm not blown away by it, and maybe like the right colorway will change that. I think it's going to be hard to replicate the momentum of the AE one. I think it's going to carry the AE two quite a ways, but that was such a moment in time, I think, with the AE1, and just a bunch of factors kind of all came together. So the AE2 is going to be a harder sell, in my opinion, but I don't think it'll be dismissed like the Kobe 2. I mean, the Kobe 2, the Jordan 2. I don't think it's going to take that route.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like second signature shoes are hard basically for everybody. Like everybody's second signature shoe, generally they have a tougher time with that one because there's the energy and excitement of the one that is just natural to something being new and surprised. And then
Mm-hmm.
the second version of it rarely does as well. So I'm not going to weigh too heavily like the performance of the two, how it performs in the market, just because like we've been here long enough to know that sometimes things do go great and sometimes things don't. So um I think it's gonna do okay. I just don't think it's gonna do AE1 kind of numbers.
Right, right. I mean, that's definitely in play. Like, it's hard to replicate that kind of moment, like in sneaker culture, just in general. Like, it's
Yep.
very rare
Yep.
that something like that really, because I don't think anybody had like that kind of expectations for the AE1 really when it first came out. I think people were like, "Oh, Anthony Edwards is getting a shoe, makes sense." But if you were to ask anybody before it launched, they probably thought it's gonna be like a Dame shoe or a Donovan Mitchell shoe
Yep.
or a Harden shoe. It's like,
Yep.
oh, people are it's gonna have its fans, it's gonna have, an audience, but it's not gonna be like this cultural thing that people really grasped onto. Like it was just like a whoa kind of deal. Now that
Yeah,
being said, oh,
no one could have
go ahead,
called
go ahead.
that. No, I was gonna say
No.
no one could have called that. That was just like a freak thing. I mean, it's great, but again, I think that's not a moment that happens. I mean, it'd be like the Air Jordan 1. Like nobody knew the Air Jordan 1 was going to be as big as it was. Like
Hmm.
not even Nike, not even Jordan, like no one, not even retailers. No one knew it was going to take off the way that it did, which I
Yeah.
think in turn probably hurt the two and made the two less appealing to everybody because the one just had so much energy there.
Yeah. Also didn't help that the two was like priced so much more than like the ones at the time. So yeah, I think that may
Yeah.
like played a role in it. Who do we think though that, because Adidas, they are following up with the in terms of, like I said, we did energy the commercials, they're like targeting actual people. In terms of like, who someone who's critiquing Ant, for the first run of commercials, he actually directly went at like particular everybody's, first signature shoe, whether it was like LaMelo shoe, I think Lucas shoe, like even LeBron shoe. I think like, it was that famous bag commercial where they was like taking out the first signatures of everybody and saying they weren't it and all that stuff. And then you've got
Hmm.
like, what was it, like commercial with like receipts? And I think Carmelo was like the first person on one of those like paper receipts, like critiquing Anthony Edwards. So they're not afraid to take direct shots at people who
Right.
are like, coming for Ant. Like, do you think they take it further this year? Do you think like I don't even know what the target could be or like what the angle could be, but like I'm not gonna say like, okay, would it be like the equivalent of like lighting an Air Jordan 2 on fire, like on camera or something like that? Do you think they go that far? I don't think so, but
I mean, I guess you never know. Um, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if I have an answer for that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Like, is it worked so well for them the first time, and it's like, what can you do for an encore? Like, unless you go like like I said, you maybe go in a totally different direction. You don't even like address those kinds of ads anymore. But it seems like I said, with this initial first ad, it's like we're kind of like trafficking in the same space. So are we gonna see like you said, you talked about like second signature shoes not panning out as well as like the first. Do we get like a sequel to that one where like Ant is bringing out like the LeBron 2 or the Luka 2 or the
Yeah.
MB02 and being like, those things are crap. And mine is like, that shoe, so could we see something like that?
Yeah. I think this go round they're going to tone down the messaging a little bit,
Mm,
and push it more towards like the performance of the shoe because I think he needs to perform better on the court to back up all the trash he was talking with the AE1, I think.
anyways, That was the episode, Jacques. But before we go, it's time for everybody's favorite sneaker segment.
Yeah.
It's Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus time. Before we
All
start,
right.
I want to thank everybody who responded to the last post we did on the Instagrams to our Two Pass podcast. We posted the LeBron Rushmore there, and I got killed for my picks. Oh my god!
Ah,
Like the poll was it was bad, man. Like I looked at it, I was like, man, no, I didn't think it was that bad. But looking at the comments too, it was like clean sweep by Jacques. Like, like Jacques killed it. Like Juan sucks. And well, they didn't say Juan sucks, but you know what I'm getting at. It was just basically like it was heavily in your favor. And you did have really good picks. I was
yeah.
like, I looked at it too, and I was like, you pretty much did win that. But I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was like that
I
much
didn't
of
think
a
it was
route.
that bad either, but it was. People were like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, all right." I mean, I'll take it, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I was like,
So
whoa, man. It's like, what did I do here? Like, what? Why
right.
is he F? I was like 50 Cent. Like, why y'all saying F me for? Like, what the heck, guys?
Yeah,
Like, dang.
yeah. That's funny.
I was like, yeah, but anyway, but we do appreciate the feedback. We do appreciate the votes and everything. So we'll post more of those in the future. But yeah, man, like I said, man, these Rushmores, it's our franchise, man. It's our thing that kind of gets the people talking, because
Yeah,
people have it. People have opinions. People have
they
takes.
do.
They
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 do.
they and
That is
sometimes they
what.
think they can pick better than we do. So, and hey, they're entitled to that opinion because sometimes they do
And
pick better ones than we do.
sometimes they do, and sometimes they do. Let's not sugarcoat it. They do pick
Absolutely.
stuff. I didn't even think about that. Darn it, good call.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Sometimes I'll read a comment and be like, "Oh, that's right. There was that one. Damn, that totally
yeah,
would have helped my
yeah,
cause or your
yeah.
cause or something like that." Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, Rushmore, it's a thing. Plus, Rushmore plus, because we can't just say Rushmore. I don't know if that's trademark copyrighted by anybody, but we say plus, so that kind of gets us away from
Uh,
like the from like all
that's
the
funny.
all the people are like, yeah, man. So that's how we switch our things up. So we add another one, so it's not just Rushmore 4, it's 5. Damn it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today we're going to do the Adidas Anthony Edwards 1 or AE1. I do like the switch. That is one thing that we forgot to talk about is like I do like the fact that they switched from AE1 to Anthony Edwards 1. It's like, yo, just
Yeah,
do the whole name. Do the whole name. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
yeah.
Just
Giving him
like
giving him his props. Yeah, I
don't
like it.
yeah, and also like just gets rid of the ambiguity out of it. It's like who this is. You know who sneaker this belongs to.
Yeah.
It's not even like a initial like yeah, exactly. So smart move on their part. So today we're gonna be doing the Adidas Anthony Edwards 1 sneaker mount Rushmore Plus. So the categories are there are no categories. We're just gonna pick 3 sneakers. We're each gonna pick 3 sneakers each, and then a player exclusive, and then for the last category, a commercial, because there were a lot of Adidas Anthony Edwards ones commercials. They were all pretty awesome. So we're just gonna pick our favorite of the bunch. So
Okay.
I picked first last time. So Jacques, you have the honors of going this week.
I think my favorite of all of the colorways is I shouldn't say my favorite, but the one that like pops into my mind is like the Stormtrooper colorway, the white and the black colorway of the AE1 low.
Yeah.
That one stands out to me. Just because like it does legitimately feels like something a stormtrooper would wear. Like it fits like it like I would if they did a Star Wars movie and they had on AE1s, I would be like, okay, I get it. It makes sense. So that's what I'm going for my first pick.
It's a great pick. I mean, that was the one that I mentioned. Like that was the one that really kind of like opened my eyes to the AE1. So that's definitely a great pick. And yeah, I mean, Adidas is the one who does the Star Wars sneaker, so I wouldn't be shocked if at some point we do get like something like that in the future where like,
That
oh
would be
yeah,
sick.
there's that Mandalorian Grogu movie that the teaser trailer just dropped today. So,
I know I got to see
maybe
that. I
there's
haven't seen that yet. I got to
yeah.
check that trailer
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So maybe, Adidas does a collab with that at some point. We get like Grogu, like AE2s or something like that. Anthony Edwards too. So yeah, cool on that part. So since you went with that, that probably would have been like my first or second pick. That would have been a good one. So for my first pick, for the Rushmore, I'm going to go with hmm, the Clot. the clot collab with Edison Chen, which ended up being like the
Oh
last
yeah,
colorway
yeah,
of the
the last
81.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like the blue flames and everything, which I think was like an underrated thing that they didn't really use a lot, was like put graphics actually on the upper. You saw a lot of like
Nah, not a
gradient.
lot.
Yeah. I thought that was maybe an angle, eventually, like, I think this is going to be successful enough. They're going to do retros at some point. I bet you they're going to probably like implement more graphics at that point. But yeah, no,
Mm.
Edison Chen's Clot brand was like one of the first, if not the first, to actually put like graphics on the upper. So I'm going to go with that for my first pick. And then for my second
I
pick,
like that one.
yeah, yeah. So for my second pick, I'm going to go with the debut colorway, the With Love. That was
Oh,
like
okay.
that ends up being like the one that's, on the ads, like that color, like that peachy, pinkish,
Yeah,
orangey kind of hue.
yeah.
Yeah. So I did appreciate that colorway too. So since you went with the Stormtrooper, I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. All right. So my next one. Wait, that was two for you, right?
Yeah, two for
Yeah.
me and then two for you. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with the Velocity Blue. It's the high. It was just like this
Mm,
really bright blue colorway that really kind of popped on the court.
yeah.
It just like really like stood out. Like for me, that's one of the things about the AE1, even the Harden 8, I would say, is like they just really popped on court and really stood out from the other shoes that were there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that, the Velocity Blue from the highs. And then what's the next category?
Oh no, just pick two. So basically that's your
Oh,
just another
another
AE
one.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was like a low. Hold on, I'm gonna look for it right now. There was a low. Um,
And
that
also
I
there was a lot to choose
really.
from. There was a lot to
Yeah,
choose
there was
from.
a
They
lot to
did
choose
drop.
from.
Hmm. I mean, that's what happens when you
Um,
do it when you hold on for 2 years. So
yeah, you got a lot of different colorways. Um, the AE1 low MX red.
MX
It has like a
Red.
green on the heel and like a swirly red on the upper with like these burgundy laces. This looks like a really dope colorway. It has like a glow in the dark outsole. It's very cool. Really cool.
Oh,
AE1 low
okay.
MX red.
Okay, so that one does have like a bit of a graphic finish to it. It's not as like it's a little bit more abstract, not like the blue flames on like the clot. But yeah, I could see what you're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good look. That's a good look. All right, so that's your two. So for my next pick, I'm going to go with oh gosh, I had it here. It was the Year of the Snake. It's called the Year of the Snake AE1. It's
Mm.
kind of got like this iridescent kind of finish, kind of color shifting. Is one of
Oh
those
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the angle that you look at it, it kind of shifts color. So I like that
I
finish.
like
So
that.
definitely cool look, and it definitely works with that pop kind of deal. Like in terms of like when you see it on the court or you see just anywhere, it definitely
Yep.
pops in that regard. So yeah, so that's gonna be my pick. Basically my last pick for like the regular sneakers of the AE1. So for my pick for
Yeah.
PE for the Anthony Edwards one, I'm going to go with oh
Oh.
gosh, for play exclusive, I'm gonna go with the gold medal, the one that he got for
Oh, okay.
from
Okay.
Adidas. The one that he got from Adidas for winning the gold medal. Man, that would have been awkward if they didn't win. Do they have like a silver medal pair or a bronze medal pair ready for him to
Like a
go
silver.
with?
Yeah, I got that. That's funny.
Like, did they just have that ready on the go just in case? Like, do we give it the gold even if they don't win the gold, or do we just give them the silver one? I don't know, guys. But yeah, so that's gonna be my pick for a player exclusive, which is pretty neat one. It's pretty cool. Like they gave it to him like
Yeah.
after, was it like a day or two after like the game, and he just hung out in France and just did Anthony Edward things in France, and I
Yeah,
was
just
like,
like walked around with it. Yeah, I was walked around wearing them in France, which is such a flex. I love it.
yes. Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of that energy after like what was it? They beat the Lakers for that one game and he walked from like Staples to like the hotel and he was just talking shit to everybody that was nearby. I was like, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
even though you beat my Lakers, I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah. Makes you angry, but you
Yeah.
gotta respect it. My
Uh,
Laker fan is coming out. Yeah.
yeah, no, right. You're
Yeah.
like, shut up, Juan.
Sorry.
You bring that up.
Sorry.
All right, so your PE.
I like the Timberwolves P. the blue and the green Timberwolves
Ah,
PE.
yes.
Like that was a good one. It like went perfect with his jerseys. And again, it just popped. Like that green on there, it just pops. And it's hard to deny. It's just hard to
Yeah.
deny. I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one. Like there, you would think there would be more PEs since it has been like 2 or something years, but when I looked it up, there's not a lot. But I figure maybe over time they're just gonna bring out more and more of those. But yeah, and there's just not a lot of player exclusives. I don't know what the reasoning behind that was, but I mean, there was like also like an Atlanta Vikings one that was also interesting. I think Erica Wheeler also got like a PE, but not a lot in terms of like other Adidas athletes getting PEs. So interesting. A
Yeah.
lot of them made to retail, which I guess is a good thing. You know, if you saw Ant wear it on the court, chances are you probably had a chance to pick it up too. So I think that
Probably had a chance to
maybe that
pick
was,
it up. Yeah, probably had a chance to buy a pair. Yeah, which is cool.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's two.
So
I guess there's two schools of thought. Either like they do really exclusive stuff, or they just make everything pretty much available.
yep, yep, yep. All right, so that's it for your PE. What is your pick for commercial? What is your favorite? What's your Anthony Edwards commercial that you're gonna go with?
So I'm stuck between two.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, pulling the shoes out of the bag,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
or the iced tea one with the body on the floor.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Um, I think you got to go with the first one. I think you got to go with the first one of pulling them out of the bag. I think you got to
It's
be. I
pretty
think that's
daring.
got to be the one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's got to be the one. Like that. That was the statement piece. So I think that's the one that grabbed everybody's attention. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one, the first one.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, if I had gone first, I probably would have gone with that one too, just because of the
Yeah,
boldness of it. Like, you just don't see that kind
yeah,
of ad anymore or ever, really. Like, just the nerve, really, the nerve of Anthony Edwards to, like, pull those shoes out of the bag. I mean, it is blurred out, but you know what
yeah,
they are. You know what they were talking.
yeah.
You know
But
who
you
they
know
were
what they
talking
are.
about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One
Yeah,
hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah. It wasn't
Which
it
makes
wasn't
it even
blurred enough that
better.
you couldn't tell. It wasn't blurred enough that
Right.
you couldn't
Yeah.
tell. You knew. You
Yeah.
knew. It was just enough that it was like not to get caught, but not to get like a copyright
Yeah.
strike or
Not to
something
get
like
a copyright strike. Yeah. Yeah.
that. But but you knew who it was, and I respect it. I respect the boldness, and I was like, man, they're really going for it, huh? And they did, and they succeeded. It was all part
Yeah.
of that. You could not deny that that was a big part of the success of the sneaker, like just
Yep.
the boldness
One
of
hundred
it. So
percent. The
yeah,
boldness of all of them, really.
yeah. So in that case, man, that was tough because the IC one is pretty great. The receipts one that I mentioned was pretty cool just because they actually named names in that one.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna cheat though. I think I'm gonna cheat and I'm going to go with the Jordan brand commercial when Jason Tatum won the championship and the billboard, and they covered up
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
billboard
Yeah.
that had the same color scheme as the Anthony Edwards commercials, like that
That's a
peachy.
good one.
Yeah. And the reason why I chose that is because Jordan never responds to anything. They are like the brand on top of the shining hill, and they never ever talk about it. They never even hint. It's like nobody else exists. It's like nothing else matters besides Jordan, and like they just exist in their own ecosystem, like their own
Yeah.
biome. They just don't acknowledge anything else exists outside of Jordan. And the fact that they put that little Easter egg that if you know, in there shows you that Adidas did their job. They
Yep.
succeeded.
One
They
hundred percent.
absolutely nailed their assignment. They got Jordan's attention. And man, I gotta respect it. I gotta love it. I
Yeah.
love
Like
it.
hat. It's
Yeah.
like hat tip to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, like, it's just funny to me that you saw that and you're like, wait a minute, is that what I think it was? Like, if you didn't know, if
Yeah.
you were just like, if you just weren't paying attention or you just didn't know what the whole deal was, it was very much like, oh, they're just putting a new billboard thing up there. But if you knew, you were
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. All right. I see what you're doing there, Jordan. You acknowledge that there are other brands out there. It's like, there's like a world
Yeah.
beyond Jordan.
A world
For all of
beyond
my
the jump, man.
for all of my anime fans out there, if it's Attack on Titan, it's like there's a world beyond the walls. It's kind of like that
Yeah.
kind of deal. But yeah.
That's
So
a good
definitely
pick.
that
That's a
is
good pick. Good choice.
yeah,
Good
the
choice.
Jordan. It's not even an Adidas commercial. It's a Jordan commercial, but it's acknowledging an Adidas commercial. So I guess it counts. I guess it counts.
Yeah, that
But
counts.
yeah.
That counts.
Anyways, that was episode 55 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. Again, I'm your co-host, Juan Martinez. And to my left or to my right, it's Jacques Slade with the shameless plugs.
Yo, as always, we want to thank you guys for watching and or listening, or maybe even doing both. If you're doing both, kudos to you. As always, make sure you leave us good reviews on any of the apps that you're using, the Apple Podcast, whether you're watching it on YouTube, leave us a great comment. All the things to share the podcast and get the word out there. If you want to send us an email, it's toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. Toohardtopasspodcast at number 2. Not the word two or the word two, just saying the number 2. With that being said, I'm Jacques Slade. That's Juan. This is the Hard to Pass podcast, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.
All right, we out.